Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, whoop, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. Today is a joyous occasion. We're going to talk about the finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15. I really want to talk to y'all about the overall season. Okay? About the overall season. Friends. Hold on, excuse me. I'm fucking up some watermelon. This watermelon is too good. Let me put it on mute for like 5 seconds so you ain't gotta hear me. But look at the color. Look at the color in this watermelon. Could be a little bit deeper, but okay. And you know it's hidden because I got my tahini on there too. But anyway, super excited to talk to y'all. I want to talk to y'all about the whole season of Real Housewives of Atlanta because friends, y'all know. Y'all know I've been reviewing about every other week on this show. And from review to review, not very much had changed. So let's just talk about it. I need y'all to let me know as you enter the chat. How are you rating this season on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you rating the season on a scale of 1 to 10? The season. And then I'm going to double back with another question. So let me go ahead and say, hey, but y'all answer the question first. How are you feeling about the season? Hey, Kayla. Apple Charm. Only One Jaw. Hey, Sierra. T. Tiles Tension. Delia. Hey, girl. Hey, Scorpio sis. Okay, T says, Tiles Tension. This season was hard to watch, honestly. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay. T says a 4. I seen selling houses, girl. Get at it. I see you on Instagram. Julian says 5. Sierra says 2.5. Harsh critic. Ooh, girl. Tile says 3. Pink Pearl says 4. Delia, that's very generous. 6.5. Amethyst says 4. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Sugar Shan. Kimmy says 7, and Sugar Shan says a 0. Girl, Sugar Shan, you don't be giving nobody no type of leeway. Like, it's just so funny because Sugar Shan be coming with the shadiest comments, I feel like. It be killing me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, I said I was gonna double back. Okay. It seemed like most of y'all more so is giving it like a 3, which is crazy on a scale of 1 to 10. So I said I was gonna double back. My double back question is, where would y'all rate the finale on a scale of 1 to 10? So go ahead, let me know how we're rating the finale on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, Julian, you another one that be shady. Julian says 3 for the finale. Mother K Jira says, or Jira says 9. Sierra says 6, 2. Amethyst. Can't recall. Kayla says 6. Energy says 8. Okay, 7 from Tiles. Finale was good, but the loose ends weren't cleared up at all. Tiles, let me know what you mean by loose ends. Let me know if it was something that I missed, went over my head. Kimmy says last 10 minutes 8, overall 6. And I'm going to have to tell y'all, this is the comment for me. I think overall, the finale was a 6. The last 10 minutes was an 8. And then if I had to go and rate the entire season, y'all, I'm laughing because I'm like, do we do this every season, y'all? Because I think this is the 3rd season of Real Housewives of Atlanta that I reviewed on YouTube. And you know how you be having to ask yourself, is it me? Am I asking for too much? How many seasons have I been saying, shit didn't really hit like that? And then when it come back and we see the trailer for the season premiere, I'd be like, oh my gosh, y'all, it actually look good. Candy said she about to be headbutting bitches. Oh my gosh. Like, you know, I think that it's going to be amazing. And then at the end of the season, I'm like, it didn't really hit. So it's like, what are my expectations? Am I asking for too much? I don't think so. But I just had to be fair. And I just had to kind of get that question out of the way. So yeah, my complaints for the season, I have to agree with you, Sugar Shan. I think a lot of the season was about Marlo, what she was doing, what she was dating, or who she was dating. I wish they would have tapped in a little bit more on Scott Lee. And when I say tapped in a little bit more, I think it's funny that when Marlo introduced us to Scott Lee, she said that he owned a restaurant. And when Candy said she heard of him before, she said he was a chef. So I was like, which one is it? You own a restaurant or you the chef? I ain't trying to put down the chef, but I'm just saying those are two different things. You own the restaurant or you the chef? Let me know. Other than that, I mean, as much as I can't stand Marlo, y'all, Marlo had a story. But you know, the other thing that I feel like they really played us on is Kenya had a story too. And when it came to this salon, how the hell are y'all gonna just sprinkle in the grand opening of the salon in like the last 2-second clip? Like, that's crazy. I feel like part of the reason why Cynthia was even there was because of Kenya, to support Kenya. So I'm like, what are we doing? It was very much given like Kenya then got into it with production halfway through. So let's go ahead and cut this shit since, you know, we want to, I guess, get one back at her. And that's what happened. I have been hearing a lot that people think that this is Kenya's last season. And to be honest, y'all, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I would not be surprised if it was Kenya's last season or either she took like a gap year. Like, it might be time for you to take another season off. Maybe come back next year with the baby. Who knows? But yeah, this season really wasn't given. So as far as the actual episode, a few things I want to talk to y'all about. Ooh, I had a ton of notes. Let me switch over to my Real Housewives of Atlanta graphic. Okay. So the episode starts out, y'all, and Sanya is at her second ultrasound appointment with Marlo. Now, I already knew what was to come of this pregnancy because Sanya had made her announcement on Instagram, and when she announced that she was pregnant, she put a rainbow, meaning rainbow baby. People put that whenever they have miscarriages. So I knew what was to come. So I kind of was already nervous that you had one appointment and Dr. Jackie said, okay, you're definitely pregnant. It didn't say nothing else. And then you bring her back to the 7-week appointment. Quite honestly, y'all, 7-week of appointments, in my opinion, I'm not trying to put Sanya down because obviously she was excited. But 7-week appointments, to me, that's too early to be bringing somebody who you met on the show. 7-week appointments, your husband should have been there. But everybody was saying that your husband was allegedly in Texas with his other family. The people are messy, okay? The people are saying that your husband was in Texas with the other family. Let me find out. I don't know if that's true, but I'm not sure why your husband wasn't at the second ultrasound. So Dr. Jackie tells Sanya that she needs to stop telling Deuce things until they get to the 12-week appointment. And what I didn't like about this scene, and it doesn't even have to do with the scene. Y'all who have been following me for at least a year now, y'all know that I experienced a miscarriage. Y'all know that I know firsthand how it feels to be sitting in a room and your ultrasound tech look at the ultrasound and go, ooh, but don't want to say nothing, and then go tell your doctor. And then for the sake of not calling it too early, your doctor has to say, oh, well, let's just come back in 2 weeks. That shit really hurt, like, for me to watch for Sanya. You could see it on her face, right? And then Dr. Jackie says, okay, well, you're measuring 5 weeks. And Sanya says, well, I was supposed to be 5 weeks 2 weeks ago. That's when I feel like Dr. Jackie maybe didn't want to give her the news because she was on camera. Because honestly, it kind of would have upset me if my doctor was not being as transparent with me as Dr. Jackie could have been, right? But then you have some doctors on the flip side that are like, oh, called it. Y'all, I could go to a whole story time of my experience, but I'm not going to do that right now. So anyway, yeah. What did Marlo say? Somebody said, did you peep what Dr. Jackie said to Marlo? I didn't peep what she said. I think Marlo said something like, it's early. And I was like, that's exactly why Marlo shouldn't have been there. Like, that type of stuff just creates additional anxiety. So I feel horrible for her. But we know what happens at the end. And I kind of want to talk about that some more. Let's finish talking about it right now. Because I don't like the way that this finale was laid out. Like, if I'm being all the way real with y'all, this finale was kind of all over the place. And I'm not trying to talk all over the place. So let's go ahead and finish out Sanya's story. So whenever they go to the party, which we'll talk about the party in more detail, you notice that Sanya says to Courtney that she is still cramping. And y'all, when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh. Not only that, the camera panned away from Sanya and then panned back, and you could see that Sanya was visibly uncomfortable and she knew something was wrong. And it really, really bothered me. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you got to go home, right? So we fast forward, they jump time to after the finale is over. And she basically tells us that she found out that, yes, she was having a miscarriage. So she wanted to schedule a DNC to get the surgery to get it done. So she thought that she had the weekend, and she traveled to New York, I think she said for work or something like that, by herself. And then it ended up happening in New York, and she was alone, and she talked about it being the most traumatic experience ever. And yeah, I believe it was, especially because you were, again, by yourself. What is Ross doing? What is Ross doing? I'm not understanding. And it doesn't just end there, because she ended up having to tell Deuce what happened. Ross was telling her that they should just lie and get pregnant again, because he doesn't have any concept of time, honestly. And that's probably something that I would have done. But I think Sanya ultimately did the right thing. Like, that's what Dr. Jackie meant whenever she said that he's resilient, right? But Ross was not there again. And I'm a little concerned, Sanya, because the whole reason why you initially didn't want to get pregnant is because you said that Ross wasn't really around when Deuce was a baby, or he didn't. I don't want to say he wasn't around. Did she say that shit? I think I might be getting her mixed up with Robin Dixon. But she said something similar. She said that Ross was not involved the way that she wanted him to be involved. And it's looking like that's going to happen again. So I'm kind of just like, are you sure you want to do that, sis? But y'all, Sanya and Ross were blessed again, and she's pregnant. She was pregnant like right after that miscarriage. They tried immediately after. But I just don't understand, y'all. I was thinking to myself, how do you have time to get pregnant immediately after, yet your husband doesn't have time to attend these really serious appointments with you? Like, like I don't understand. Just because I don't know if y'all know, I'm sure a lot of y'all women do. But after a miscarriage, you you ovulate sometime immediately after, but it takes a while for your normal cycle to come back. So that means that Ross and Sanya were kind of just having sex a lot because they didn't really know when she was going to ovulate if they got pregnant before she had her period, right? So my thing is, how do you have enough free time to shoot the club up and, not really be there? I'm not understanding. So Sanya, if you could provide some context on that, we would greatly appreciate it. And with Sanya's side of things, we find out that her family actually moved, even though it was only 10 minutes down the street. Now, I think that's pretty much it for Sanya's storyline. Next, y'all, I want to get into Sheree. Let's get into Sheree. So we see Sheree in the car with her daughter, and Sheree admits to not paying her bills. I'm like, girl, did you forget that the cameras was around? Because we had a feeling that you didn't have no money like that. I had a feeling whenever you thought it was okay for Martell to ask the ladies for Cash App at your birthday dinner. I had a feeling when the house was looking like sticks and rocks. It was looking like Neverland. I had a feeling when that's pretty much what I'm gonna say. When they said that the house was in your mama's name. So the fact that you said that on TV, girl, she said that bill collectors call. You'll get the money when I do. And I'm laughing my ass off because that's something that broke people say. Okay. That's something that I'll joke about student loans about. But when it comes to my bills, to my livelihood, my bills are paid. Like Sheree. And it really had me thinking, like, damn, people really be living these lavish ass lifestyles and low key don't have a dime. How does that work? How does that work? And then have the nerves to date down. Hold on, y'all. I think it just hit me the level of insanity that was. Hold on. Okay. So you have access to circles of people with money. And even if it ain't legit money, you got access to scammers like Simon. You got access to, people who make money by doing all types of stuff, right? You don't have money yourself, but you have the access. And you still decide to be a friend girl to a man that you then dragged out of Huntsville, Alabama with 5 kids and no money. Wake up. What is you doing, Sheree? I'm not understanding. That has to be insane. Now, the other thing is they talk about Bob's secret child. her oldest daughter, Tiara, said that she thought that Sheree knew and that she had met her before. Other than that, y'all, Sheree didn't have to get the fibroid surgery, which is great. That's good for her. But we're not really gonna act like Sheree was scared of needles when she really got her nose, the tip chopped off. Girl, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. All right, next, y'all. Who else do I want to talk about? I think that's it for Sheree right now. I think we want to talk about Kenya. Kenya got like 2 seconds on this episode. Honestly, it was nothing but shade. 2 seconds on the episode. Kenya tells her dad, which I'm so happy to see her dad around. I do remember like when he was on the show. Let me know if I'm like forgetting something, but I remember like genuinely feeling happy whenever Kenya had her dad around. Had to. So yeah, I just remember being happy whenever Kenya had her dad around. Now her daddy made the same face I did whenever she told him that she was gonna have a surrogate carry her baby and that they would use Mark's sperm. And one of my, well, I don't know, I'm assuming it's a subscriber, made a comment on my video and they offered like a lot of insight on Kenya wanting to use this sperm because they had went through it. And that kind of changed my perspective. I'm gonna tell you, it changed my perspective. What did they say? Damn, I wish I could find it. I can't find it. Damn. But anyway, it changed my perspective on what Kenya was going through whenever she decided that she wanted to use Mark's sperm. One second. Which one is it? I can't find the comment. Damn. But anyway, it was like super insightful. And I commented back, you know who you are. And I basically was just like, thanks for the context or whatever. So at this point, it's kind of like, okay, Kenya, do what you got to do to have this baby. But my issue is that when I'm done fucking with somebody, I'm just done fucking with somebody. And I would just be done fucking with him. And I know some of y'all are gonna say she don't want him back. I know this is not about her wanting him back. This is not about them co-parenting. This is simply about her using her eggs. I get that. But I wouldn't even want to use the eggs. But that's me speaking from a perspective that I don't quite understand because Kenya is 50 something and probably doesn't have as many eggs saved, right? But I was kind of thinking about like, who was it? I think I saw something about Mel B. She had got her boyfriend's name tattooed somewhere on her body and end up cutting the skin off or getting the skin cut off. Like, that's the level of don't fuck with you that I would low-key be on. Not that I would cut my skin off, but that's what I would want to do. So for me to like actually utilize that sperm or even like think to fertilize my eggs with all his sperm would just, I couldn't do it. Yeah, JP says Kenya had a hard time getting those embryos. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so the other thing is Kenya ends up opening up her salon, which they show for 2 seconds at the end. And it was just kind of disrespectful because the salon looked beautiful. Okay. Who is it? Girl, thank you, T. DM me the comment because she knows exactly what I was talking about. Okay, so let me read the comment for y'all. Somebody said, hi, Necey. Love your channel. This is regarding the Kenya embryo situation. Coming from someone who did IVF, her embryos are already frozen and the only options are to destroy them, which at her age, she probably doesn't have any egg reserve left, to donate them or transfer them. When doing IVF, all eggs in that cycle have to be fertilized on retrieval day. Oh, okay, there we go. So that's why she fertilized all of them. She probably didn't get much eggs in a cycle anyway. given her age. At 35 years old, I was only able to have 16 retrieved, but only 6 made it to day 5 or 6 to be frozen. You also don't know how many transfers it will take for success. It took me 3 transfers, 5 embryos to finally succeed with my nugget. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy as hell. But women go through a lot of things to have babies. So I guess to her, we're going to be worth it. Okay. So anyway, Kenya, thank you for sending the comment, T. So Kenya opens up the salon and they don't really show it. And I think we need to dig into that a little bit more. For those of y'all who watched the Kenya and Carlos King interview, I watched the full part 1. I started part 2 and didn't finish. I didn't really pick up on any shadiness in that interview. And when I say shadiness, I mean like shadiness towards Bravo. It was one thing that she did say that kind of stuck out though. She talked about how in her first season, you had to like basically audition to be on the show. They would film you for a little while and then decide if they wanted to keep you or not. And she felt like they just kept stringing her along. And it got to the point to where she was like, if you're not going to choose me to be a housewife, don't use any of my footage. So basically she was just saying like, nah, I'm not afraid to tell them that I'm done fucking with them. And she even explained when it came to her marrying Mark that she wasn't afraid to tell Bravo, if this is what it takes, that I'm not coming back. So if you really think about like just the energy behind those statements, I really wonder if there's currently something going on with Kenya and Bravo, in which that was kind of like a message for us to see. Kenya's not afraid to walk away. So she may come back, she may not, but we'll see what happens, right? Okay. So we talked about Sanya, we talked about Sheree, we talked about Kenya. Marlo, what do we have to talk about, y'all? We already talked about Scott Lee. Okay, I guess all that's left is to talk about Kandi and Drew. So I guess we'll talk about, damn. Y'all, when you really think about this finale, I said it was rated at 8, but when you really think about it, this was very much given the Drew show. Because what happened with Kandi on the finale, y'all? Nothing besides Kandi hosting the party and having T.I. and Tiny show up. Like, they didn't highlight anything. At least not the way that they should have highlighted, right? So that's pretty much what happened. And yes, y'all, I did watch The Pass yesterday. Yesterday was so funny because it was actually like an entire Kandi Burruss marathon in my house. We watched what was it? Yeah, we watched The Pass. Then we watched, so The Pass is on Peacock. If you didn't know, I'm pretty sure all of y'all already know. Then we watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then we watched The Chi. And it was so funny. And I was like, damn, we watched Kandi like literally all night long, like for 3 hours straight or more, honestly, because the movie was longer than an hour. But how I feel about the movie, let's talk about it. Hey, friends in the chat, let me know if y'all watched the movie, The Pass. Don't worry, we're going to get back to Drew. If y'all watched The Pass, let me know, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? And for me, it was hard for me to say scale of 1 to 10. I kind of explained it like not quite Tubi, but definitely giving more BET original, which is not bad, okay? Not Tubi, but definitely giving more BET original. And low-key giving Lifetime, because Lifetime seemed like they be on the same budget, you know? Let's see. Nikki says, how y'all like the movie? JP says no spoilers. The Bree says the movie was given Tubi. All black. I can see all black. BET or all black. That's the perfect one. 5.7, 3.5. D says 7. Nikki says Kandi and Drew can't act. You know, I didn't think that Drew did a bad job at all. Like, I actually really like Drew. Drew be lying, but I actually really like Drew. Candy did okay. She did okay. I honestly I think Candy does a better job acting on The Shy than she did on the movie. But we really didn't see that much of her character. So yeah, the movie's really good if y'all haven't watched it. It's like a plot twist. But I do feel like the ending was kind of rushed. Like I looked down at my phone and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, how are they gonna expose all this? How are they gonna reveal all this? So you spend like shit 90% of the movie working your way up to this plot twist. Then once you get to the last five, it moves fast. Then once you get to the last five, you look up and you be like, damn, it's over already? Or you be like, damn, is this bloopers or what's going on? So I think y'all should watch the movie. And I'm not bashing it at all because I do like my middle tier budget black movies. I do like middle tier budget black movies, especially when they be trying to give you a gotcha moment because I have recently, just started getting into Tubi hard, and every single Tubi you watch is gonna have mid to low acting, storyline gonna be banging. Okay, and that's all I care about. Storyline gonna be banging, acting, you'll get past it. Okay. So yeah, I definitely think y'all should take a look at it. But it seemed like the party was cool. So now let's go ahead and get into Drew and Ralph. Dun, 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 dun. They said it was kind of giving cliffhanger. I was like, huh? Hey, Sam J. Okay, cool. So now, y'all, it's time to get into Ralph and Drew. So at the beginning of the episode, we find out that Ralph and Drew are not sleeping in the same room. Are we surprised? No. He says that her odd hours keep him up at night, which is a lie. That man just don't want to be around you, right? Like, y'all, it's something about Ralph. Like, people, it's low-key shocking me that the people who don't like Drew will still try to side with Ralph. Like, I don't think y'all understand. It's something about a woman who is in a abusive relationship that can make her a toxic friend that I was telling y'all about. I told y'all you can't trust nobody that pose like this, and you can't trust nobody whose eyebrows is too thin or with a hard arch. You can't trust it. And the reason why I told y'all that is because majority of the time, those people live in delusion. And that's what happens when women are in abusive relationships, whether that be mentally, emotionally, physically. Those women are delusional. And you have to have some type of delusion because it's a survival tactic, right? But when you do, you find out that you're the victim in a home, but you be ready to fight every time you go out. The way that you are gaslighted, you decide to gaslight. We've seen it on Bell Collective with Latrice and Cliff. We have seen it on I just watched it. If you watching Love and Marriage Detroit, I feel like what's that girl's name? Christina. Christina is mentally manipulated all the time. And whenever she gets into it with the women, she manipulates like no other. It's ridiculous. And I feel like we've seen it with Drew. Now, I'm not going to say that like Drew doesn't gaslight because she does. But it's no way in this world that I feel like Drew and Ralph both play equal parts in what's going on. It's definitely given that this ain't new to Ralph. This is who he is. And I'd be interested to know, like, what was Drew like before she got with Ralph? I can almost guarantee y'all she probably was not manipulating people to the level that she does now, or like even just flat out lying. So yeah, it's very weird to me, weird energy to me when I see people online and they're trying to find a moment to make it seem like, aha, see, Drew's doing this. See, you're acting. And it kind of bothers me because let's be for real, be fucking for real, y'all. When Drew was crying in the kitchen, let's get to that. So hold on. Let me go in order because I'm about to get ahead. So anyway, at the beginning, Drew was talking to her husband Ralph about Courtney calling her a bitch. And Ralph says, what that got to do with me? That's not a me issue, that's a you issue. I've seen you allow Kenya, Marlo, and Candy call you a bitch, so you want me to trip about it for what? You want me to cut her off for what? And are we surprised? Ralph is not married. Like, mentally, Ralph is not married to you. Mentally, Ralph is your worst enemy. Mentally, Ralph don't give a fuck about you. It's not an us thing until the cameras come around because he want to be seen. He likes the proximity to Drew, y'all. I really think he likes the proximity to Drew. I could imagine when he first met her, he probably love bombed the fuck out of her and then switched. And I think that that's why Drew is questioning to this day, like, who's my real husband? So while Ralph did have a point, other people have called you bitches. This is my thing. You have to pay attention to the context in which you were called a bitch. Okay? If you got into an argument with somebody over something fair, I don't like how you did this, you didn't like how I did that, girl, cute bitch. I don't give. Okay? When you get into it like that, that's different than somebody wanting to get in where they fit in, and they think that the popular thing to do is call you a bitch behind your back. But when she came on the show because she wanted to know somebody, if it wasn't gonna be Sheree, she had to know Candy. If it wasn't Candy, all of a sudden you on Ancestry.com searching your tree 6 lines back, and you found Ralph Pittman, and that's how you found Joanne on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You 6 lines back, girl. We looking at, I don't even think Ancestry say 6th cousin. I think Ancestry say like 3rd cousin plus. Okay? You weren't even in the search results, Courtney. But you wanted to get in where you fit in. And then all of a sudden the context is, oh, that bitch. I told y'all that even though they put that arrow, and some of y'all still don't believe it, when they put that arrow to Sanya's face and said and showed that bitch thing, never once did I think like, oh, I had it wrong. She was calling Sanya a bitch. No, I was thinking she was just talking to Sanya. Like, no, I'm proving my point. I told that bitch, and that's what she was talking about. So I'm like, are we really gonna play dumb? She was talking about Drew. And if I was Drew, she would have never had the chance to tell somebody that she was related to me. So that was your mistake number 1. You let her in too soon. So anyway, we know that Ralph is fucked up. Drew was like, I can't take this no more. She runs downstairs. Now, y'all, this is what I will call Drew out on. But I'm actually not surprised. I'm not mad at her for it. We see people who are victims in their circumstances. They're victims in their marriage. And they're too afraid to say to their husband or their wife how they really feel. So they go to somebody who they've been venting to so they can come with all the smoke. Those types of personalities we usually see keep strong people with them, i.e. Cynthia, i.e. when y'all watch Married to Medicine, don't y'all remember Contessa doing that? Don't y'all remember Contessa allowing Quad to talk for her, and then got mad whenever Quad was saying the shit that we already knew how Contessa felt? That's how that be working. So when Drew ran downstairs, she claimed she was done with the conversation, but what Drew did was say, okay, you want to go low? I'm gonna pull out my secret weapon and it's gonna be my sister. So that way when my sister say exactly what I want her to say, you can't be mad at me, you can be mad at her and she can speak on my behalf. So that's exactly what that was, y'all. So I'm not mad at Drew for doing it, but I'm just going to say this is the stuff that y'all are talking about whenever y'all talk about manipulation from Drew. But to be honest, it's just a result of being an abuse victim. Like when you're an abuse victim, you're in that situation because you've relinquished your power to this person. So whenever you've done that, you need somebody else to stand up for you. If Drew was strong enough to just cuss him out in the bedroom, they leave it at that, she would never be in a situation where she's an abuse victim. Like, come on, be for real, y'all. And y'all want to be mad at us. Like, oh, well, see, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by Drew. Okay? Like, be for real, y'all. Y'all gotta, it's layers to it. So whenever she goes downstairs, Allison says, I think Ralph ends up saying something to Allison. I don't know, but somehow she's intertwined in the conversation. Allison ends up saying, well, Ralph, that's the problem right there. If something bothers your wife, you have to start there. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, I know exactly what I need to do. Basically, mind your business. And she said, I'm down here. Y'all, I got a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't trying to rack on Allison for having no mental health issues. Because, hey, everybody had a day. But I know one thing is for sure. I am not arguing with nobody in the kitchen holding 2 knives who spent some time in the mental hospital. Okay? I'm especially not arguing with nobody in the kitchen holding 2 knives. Let's start there. Right? So I don't know if it was just me, but I was like, oh, not her in the kitchen with 2 knives and you got the nerves to argue with her and you don't know if she might just snap because sis was an abuse victim too. Have you lost it, Ralph? Y'all see how quick he walked over to that dining room where the Christmas tree was, right? Ralph did not want the smoke, y'all. Ralph did not want the smoke. And I ain't blame him because I would have took my ass down there to argue with somebody who had weapons in their hand. I'm like, come on. Not smart. Not smart. Okay. So, anyways, Drew says, can you take off my mic? And then she runs back upstairs. Yeah. So let's move on now to Drew, Ralph, and Dr. Ken. But I really want another bite of watermelon. And I also want y'all to like this video if y'all liking the conversation. So do me a favor, give me like 15 seconds. Let me get a bite of watermelon. And y'all do me a favor first and foremost. And you like the damn video. I don't know about y'all, but it's consecutively been like 109, 110, 112, 107 in Texas. I've been outside. Now, not for long, but I'm telling y'all, when you go from the car to the store, to the car, to the job, to the store, y'all, I have been eating watermelon every day, drinking water out my Stanley cup every day, trying to stay hydrated. It's a bit much. It's a bit much out here. So, anyway, let's get into Drew, Ralph, and Dr. Ken. Now, when we get into Dr. Ken, y'all, I have never seen a therapist dislike one of their patients so much. It was hilarious to me, Dr. Ken's face. He was clearly not fucking with Ralph, like at all. And he's been waiting on the day for Drew to leave. Because quite frankly, he tired of doing these damn sessions. He's tired of listening to y'all. And he just wanted Drew to leave. And that was pretty clear to me whenever he had that one-on-one session with Drew. So finally, Ralph decides to go. And they start talking about Ralph moving out the room. Drew says it feels alone for her, right? And Ralph says, it's liberating for me. With his head slant back like this. Y'all, I remember everybody talking about how fine Ralph was for like the longest amount of time. And I just could never get there. And I could never get there because he looked good right here and right here. But right here, we're not going to act like the top of his head don't go back like this. It go back like this. And it was definitely giving that big head boy in the classroom that was low-key an asshole. Y'all know what them boys look like. They got the funny shaped heads. So, you know, since they always getting roasted on, they got to be the ones to be funny. And because he was getting roasted on because his head go at a slope, he had to get a body on him. So that way you be distracted. I'm letting y'all know right now, I was not distracted. I was not distracted. Oh, lopsided head ass boy. Oh, proud family, peanut looking head ass boy. I was not distracted, y'all. I never named him the finest house husband. I know some of y'all were, but I want y'all to stay woke. And I want y'all to notice what this was supposed to distract us from. From this. And this. All right. So anyway, Drew ends up saying that the kids notice that he's out of the room. He claims that she's lying. He's cutting her off. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. Dr. Ken is like, wait. Drew shows proof. She shows the text messages between Josiah and herself, where Josiah says, hey, you know, the two younger siblings are wondering why dad's not in the room. Drew is telling him everything will be fine when the movie's over. Like, excuse me. Personally, I think that Drew did a good job as a parent trying to just blow stuff over. So Ralph was not here to even listen to what she said. And that's one thing you got to know about narcissists, about manipulators. It doesn't matter if you have the receipts. It doesn't matter if you have the receipts, because people that are that unhinged, it don't matter. If you said the sky was blue, they gonna say, nah, bitch, it was red, and you're not about to play with me. It was red. They're not even gonna let blue roll off your tongue. The sky was blue. It was red. It was red. It was red. You were like, that's how Ralph is. And I want y'all to acknowledge that, especially the people who still want to make this about Drew. Let's acknowledge that. Let's unpack that. And we're going to see it more at the reunion. I'm like, come on now. Have you... Anyway, Ralph says it's not a big deal that they sleep in separate rooms. Even her best friend and her husband sleep separate, right? Who hasn't filed for divorce? And Dr. Ken is just amused because I think he noticed, like, I really have in front of me a maniac. Not my words, allegedly, Dr. Ken's words. Drew told us last season or 2 seasons before that Dr. Ken said he was a maniac, y'all. Like, come on. You can't argue. Right. Julian says, right, they'll lie just to argue with you. A narcissist can't be right. Right. That's what's called a dark hole conversation. Black hole conversation. Okay. Shout out to my therapist, Deb. Black hole conversation. You will not win a conversation with a narcissist, okay? The conversation will go on for days and it will get nowhere. So I'm just like, yeah, nah, he ain't right. Yup, Tiles, it didn't matter what she said. In his mind, he's right. Yup. The man wild. y'all know what I need somebody to put together. I need somebody to put together the greatest moments of Dr. Ken. If it's not already done, because I need to see that on YouTube. Okay, so we finally get to the premiere party, y'all. When we get to the premiere party, the ladies arrive. We see a couple people there. Kenya was wearing a bodysuit, and it looked cute when it was in motion, y'all. But when I saw the picture of it, it still looked cute, but I feel like the camel toe was just doing a lot for me, which I know a lot of women, like, I don't have an issue with like a little bit of camel toe. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's just gonna show, right? But this camel toe kind of looked uncomfortable because it was leather. And then the cups of the boobs looked a little small. So it looked really good in motion, but the picture that I saw of it was just a little bit unflattering. So that's my comments on that. Everybody else, as far as everybody else, I really have no commentary on their outfits, like, to be real, which says a lot. I think Kenya looked good, but the bodysuit wasn't my favorite. And as far as what everybody else was wearing, I can't even recall. Cynthia, I don't remember anything but the wig, and I just wish that you had like a little bit of edges out on the wig. Like, just something, the wig was just getting bust down. Like, damn, like, not just, it ain't even gotta be no baby hairs, just a little bit of edges, okay? That's all I wanted to see. He had a 4x1 closure on your head. So anyway, the ladies arrive. Sanya mentions the cramping, which is something that we talked about already. And we see Drew greet Ty, and they're sure to slow that down. Hey, Ty. Hey, Ty. And Ty's like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh. Okay. So Courtney ends up greeting Drew's sister Allison. And when she does, Allison confronts Courtney like, bitch, don't talk to me. That's not what she said, but it's very much what she was giving her face. Like, bitch, don't talk to me. I don't fuck with you. Like, you already know what's going on. Don't come to me talking about no hey cuz type shit, right? So Courtney says, okay, no, you want to talk about it? Let's talk. Let's go ahead and handle it. Let's go ahead and step away. Let's talk about it right now. So they end up stepping away. And they end up talking about it, y'all. I don't really know what the back and forth was about. But ultimately, Courtney apologizes. And she says, yes, I was referencing you, Drew. And she claims that she says it just to dead the conversation because she's tired of talking about it. But y'all, let's be fucking for real. Let's be fucking real. Let's be fucking for real. Let's be fucking for real. I told y'all from jump that Courtney was referencing Drew. I knew that. You could tell by the context of the conversation. I don't care what the arrow said. Real Housewives of Atlanta editing and production is an agent of chaos. And that's what the arrow was trying to do. It was trying to confuse us. Stay woke, okay? Now, we get to see the trailer for the movie, and Drew's sister is like, I'm going to go help her change. And it's just so funny to me how much Drew's sister admires her. And you could tell that in this episode. Part of me was kind of like, damn, girl, back up just a little bit because you're not her manager no more. Back up. Allison is like, I'm going to protect you from the husband. I'm going to protect you from the Ancestry.com 6-time removed cousin. I'm going to protect you from whatever. I'm going to prep you for the show. Do your hair, do your makeup, get your dress on, make sure you go out and you perform. I'm going to be doing your moves in the audience. I'm going to be out there like Kris Jenner. I'm going to be out there like the girl from Mean Girls. You're doing amazing, sweetie. I think it's sweet that her sister really admires her. And I think that Drew's sister, honestly, is the person who came around to probably give her the courage. Like, not just her sister, but I'm pretty sure in combination of going to Dr. Ken and also having her sister around to, realize, like, I'm not crazy, gave her the courage to leave. Because I feel like from what we see for so long, whenever you be around somebody that really fucks with your mental, you end up living in delusion, and you need someone to say, you're not crazy. The sky is blue. And that's why Drew ran downstairs, because I'm sure if her sister was not there, she would have folded. And she would have said, it's liberating for you to live in the other bedroom. That's fine. I'll let you do it if that's what we need to do. she would have done it. She would have gave up because she would have been tired of fighting. So it's really nice to see Allison there. Okay. So yeah, y'all, the trailer was good. We talked about the movie already. We saw Mama Joyce for a hot second. Mama Joyce had a new wig. Mama Joyce had on the wet and wavy. She didn't have on the straight hair with the bang. She had on the wet and wavy. And we find out that Mama Joyce is still going to her own therapy, even though her and Candy haven't started their therapy yet. So now we move on to Drew's performance, which I think Drew did a really good job. I didn't really care for Drew's dress at all. The dress should have been a little bit different. It was not hitting like that. But I think that the performance overall looked good. I think that Drew's song is good and she got a new one coming out. Now, don't watch this review and think that I'm some big ass Drew stan, because I'm not. If you're not new here, then you already know everybody can get it. E for everybody. But I will say I feel like this was a great finale for Drew, and I'm excited about the direction that where she's headed, right? As far as her line, we're going to talk about that because I lit her ass up for that a couple reviews back, and if you want to watch that, go ahead and watch that, right? So we get the Candy update on the Tony movie. Although she didn't win, we find out about the movie that they're working on. What else? Marlo is trying to expunge her record. Everybody else, we kind of talked about it. Now, this is the last 10 minutes of the episode. So it's January 28th. Everybody finds out about the divorce online. And I'm not laughing because the shit funny. I'm laughing because I absolutely remember what was going on at this time. I remember what was going on at this time. I remember being on Instagram. I remember when Mimi posted the story or the picture of Drew and Ty at the party. And when they played it on episode, it was funny because I was singing a song that Mimi posted on her Instagram stories, which was that Ice Spice song. Then nigga munch. He eat it for lunch. Basically throwing shade. Like, yeah, Drew is just a munch. And y'all just messed around to mess around because she was feeling some type of way. But hold on. So we get to see everybody's reactions from the announcement of the divorce. Apparently, Drew says that Ralph's lawyer ran to the media and they was racing each other down there like Mario Kart. Marlo says that Drew probably threw a banana, and I laughed my ass off. Like, that was funny as fuck. It really was. Y'all, I'm gonna have to ban my husband from watching Real Housewives of Atlanta with me because this episode, he was like, man, I like Marlo. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Honestly, y'all, Marlo be saying some funny shit, but I will never tell y'all that I like Marlo. When he said that, I was like, excuse me? You gotta go. You gotta go right now. So anyway, Marlo says that the streets claim that Drew is dating Ty. And y'all know what's even more interesting is even when it came to comments on the divorce, it was almost like Marlo was narrating this part of it. So I'm just like, what is going on? Why is Marlo like kind of narrating the whole thing? I don't understand. You're killing me. The relationship is over. Not you married the op. Oh, child. So, yeah, Marlo was almost narrating. And I'm like, why is it that she's the one talking about this? I don't understand. Production loved them some Marlo, right? But he ain't seeing through the lines. I be having to tell him like, no, because this and then this. I feel like I be having to draw one of them like detective maps with the strings to explain to him like, this is why because this, and she said this because that. And when you watching a show with somebody who you don't even go here, it's like, don't make no comments like that. Don't disturb my peace. So, okay. Candy mentions that Drew met Ty on the set of the movie. Drew was in character. Drew was in character hard, y'all. So much so that she forgot to come out of character. And we kind of talked about the movie for a little bit, y'all. After I finished the movie, I found myself like what about this character made Drew feel like they were so similar? Like, honestly. Because y'all remember during the episode, she was like, I just feel like me and Nina have so much in common. And Ralph says, what, is she the lesbian? And she says, no, well, that's like a backstory. Like, what is it? Is it the mother overstepping your boundaries? Is it her being naive? Or is it that she likes girls and that she like just naively was like, oh, well, you know, and we did it one time and now I can't stop thinking about you. What was it, Drew? I really want to know. So anyway, Mayetta come with Mayetta messy as fuck, y'all. Mayetta messy as fuck for this. I feel like we saw Mayetta in a limited capacity, but they absolutely showed her when it came to the divorce. And Mayetta said, well, Drew did tell me when we was on set that if it didn't work out with her and Ralph, that she was gonna go talk to her crush, which was Ty. And whenever she said that, I was like, Mayetta, you messy as fuck. Like, y'all, Mayetta had no reason to be gossiping like that to this damn production. Like, I'm not understanding. Drew said she was gonna go talk to her crush that was Ty. Mayetta, you'd have had no reason to be gossiping. Like, I could see it for the other housewives. I could see it for the other housewives, but Mayetta, you messy as fuck. Like, we saw you in a limited capacity, and when you come on the show, you talk about what Drew told me. Oh, not you carrying a fucking bone, Mayetta. And so yeah, we move on from that to Drew getting ready to film her confessional. So Sheree, her confessional is done filming at 5, or something like that. Drew's confessional starts at 6. They're in the studio at the same time. And both Kenya and Sheree end up reaching out to Drew. Kenya's like, I've been there before. I understand where you're coming from. This is via FaceTime. And then Sheree ends up walking into the room. And low key, Sheree was being messy. Sheree walked into that room to see if she was going to find out anything different from what she had been hearing on the blogs. That's what she went in there for. But I think what initially started as a disingenuous conversation turned into like a real heartfelt moment. Because Drew also talks about her dad, how her dad has stopped talking, he's not eating. And her dad actually just recently passed away, I think a week or two ago. May he rest in peace. And Sheree ends up saying that, yeah, her dad passed away like from a similar thing. And Drew said, oh my gosh, when? She said like a day or two ago. Ooh, y'all. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't get that Sheree was playing Oppression Olympics. It would have been weird if she didn't say anything about her dad who had just died 2 days before. But I feel for her. I was like, damn, a day or two? Ugh, that's crazy. So they end up hugging. And one thing that they didn't have to do is when Sheree left, Drew says, love you. Love you. Because my one thing about me is I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. Okay? I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I would absolutely tell you, you know, you're in my prayers. I would absolutely tell you. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't pray. I would pray, right? I would pray. But I wouldn't be on no, because we both in a sad situation, now I love you. No. No, I'm alert at all times because wait till y'all get to that reunion, girl. So yeah, Drew immediately starts crying. It seems like a lot for her. So Drew ends up sitting in front of the camera. She's crying. She can't get it together. She said that she's thinking about how good her and Ralph were the last time they were there. And it's kind of interesting to me because how much y'all want to bet her and Ralph probably wasn't that good. I mean, to be real, since we didn't see them on our screens, they ain't never really been good. So I personally don't think that Drew was crying because her and Ralph were so good the last time they were there. I think that she was probably crying because she wasn't ready to talk about it. And it was something that she was going to have to like say out loud. It's kind of like whenever you go through something traumatic, it almost feels like if you keep it to yourself or if you don't really acknowledge it, then it didn't really happen. And then whenever you have cameras in front of you and you have to say the shit out loud, and you have to like address it, that like makes the shit real. So I think that's why she started crying. I truly don't think it had anything to do with how good they were the last time they were there, because like it don't look like y'all ever been good for real. I'm sure it was before he married you when he had to bag you. Okay. So Drew says that she allowed a lot of things in her marriage. She allowed infidelity, basically, is what she says. Ralph brings his ass down there in a sweater. I don't know what it is that y'all like about these men wearing these medium ass sweaters, but I don't know when y'all gonna learn between Martell and Ralph that these men. Say, whoa, give me a second, like the video, because I'm about to fuck this up. Like the video. All right, y'all. I'm back. He was wearing his medium shirt, y'all. He had a pop up down there in his Givenchy sweater. And not you, Pacino. I know you know. But he had a pop down there in his fucking sweater. And it was very much given like he wasn't confessional ready. It was very much given, I filed for divorce. I then ran to the courthouse. Then we run over to the filming because Bravo messy ass didn't call me down here to make a statement. So let me drive down here without even consulting my fucking lawyer. Because if you had a good lawyer, or maybe you do got a good lawyer, but if your ass was any smarter, you would have called your lawyer before you got down there. And your lawyer would have told your ass to stay at home. But you drove down there anyway to get in front of some cameras because you like attention, Ralph. Let's be for real. You had no reason to be there, Ralph. You're not a housewife. You're not a housewife. Okay? Shit. What, Ralphetta? Ralphinette? What we on? Okay? I low-key feel like you might have it worse than Patricia. I'm not understanding. Stay out of the women's business.
Hold on, let me just say this. Let me just say this, Greg. This is what you need to do. You need to stay out of women's business. You are causing problems. You are the only husband, boyfriend, fiance that gets involved in women's business. We happen to like Peter a whole lot better than Patricia.
What woman business was I getting involved?
You always involved. What we do as women is between us. You need to roll with these fellas and not try to roll with these women.
I don't roll with nobody, baby.
Okay, well, you need to stop trying to roll with the women, okay? You need to stay out of women's business. You stop trying to be a damn bitch.
Stop trying to be a damn bitch. Stop. You're not getting a peach, Ralph. Stop. You don't go here, okay? And when that divorce hit, it won't be no reason for you to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Stay out of the women's business, okay? So he came down there and they was asking him questions, and he said, oh, 1 second, and called his lawyer. And the lawyer basically told him not to speak to anything. So what did you bring your slant head ass down there for? Oh, lopsided head ass boy. I'm not understanding. What are you here for? I'm not understanding. So anyway, we don't really get nothing out of Ralph. But you know who is gonna speak is old thirsty ass Courtney. Courtney is like, so I did hear from Ralph that Drew was bi. She's bisexual. All I had to do was ask. He pretty much just shared it with me. And Drew likes to dip into the lady pond every now and then. So it wasn't really a surprise to me. And what else she talking about? Ralph told her that she was bisexual. And oh, that's obviously why she was pushing for that adoption. I know that's why she was pushing for that adoption. So you could just go on down to Texas and be with your gay lover. Y'all, that's discovery. That's what Ralph has a lot of information. That's what you call discovery. Girl. I feel like Real Housewives of Atlanta has been whack ever since they've been bringing on girls. Just like Kenya said in her interview with Carlos, bringing on girls who want to get in where they fit in. Girls who don't really have to do much. And I'm trying to think, who do we see this with? I know we seen it with that bitch from Clark, Atlanta, Giovanna. We're clearly seeing it with Courtney. But I can't think about prior. Y'all let me know. Prior to Giovanna, what other fans did they bring on the show? Because I know y'all know. Lightweight, y'all. I kind of felt that way about Claudia Jordan when I was watching the show. But now that I've gotten older, seen Nene for her ways, I mean, I still love Nene. I still rock with Nene. I can't really say that about Claudia no more. I understand, right? But who? Demetria, that's a good one. Demetria McKinley, yeah, she was giving fan Roger Bob. Sanya, yeah, but Sanya's not as bad. But the show took a turn when y'all started bringing on fans. The show was horrible after that. So I'm gonna need y'all to scrap. Start bringing on fans. Start bringing on friends, like real friends or real acquaintances. Real money, Sheree. And I think we'll have Real Housewives of Atlanta back. So anyway, Drew is in her little confessional and she says that she got about 27 text messages. And they're all about the blog saying that she was messing around with Ty Hunter. And like I told y'all, I remember this because I remember Mimi's story that she posted and all the blogs was reposting, right? So Drew immediately is like laughing. Have y'all seen the headlines? Everybody, I don't know why everybody's saying this. Drew, you a lie. And I want y'all to understand, whenever people say to Drew, and scene, Drew, you're acting, be fucking for real. Drew is a good actor, but she ain't that good at acting. Like, Drew's a good actor, but she ain't that good to where y'all think that she can be having these meltdowns like that. She can't. Because the way I could tell that you every bit of messed around with that girl Ty, when the blogs came out, what's funny? Is this just so unbelievable that we all should laugh about it? No, it's believable. You probably fucked that girl. You probably did. So that's my point. Drew's not that good at acting. So, girl, I don't even know what you lying for. Like, come on now at this point. So yeah, y'all, I think that was pretty much it. We find out in Drew's update that her and Ralph still live together. And when I read that, I was shaking in my fucking boots. Ain't no way if I was Drew that I would feel comfortable staying in the house with that man. So I wonder if Allison still lives with her. I'm really not sure. So yeah, hopefully Ralph don't get her for everything he got, because we don't even know what Ralph does. While Courtney's talking about, oh, Drew wants him to fund her lifestyle. What the fuck does Ralph do? Obviously the same thing as Marlo. Y'all got all these assistants in the house, all these chefs. What are y'all doing? And then the other teller, and I'm not even gonna say that like Ralph don't got money and Drew do, because Drew might not have a dime either. The way that you know, it's only two reasons why people stay in the house together when they get ready to get a divorce. Number one, they stay together because of the funds. The money. You ain't got the money to pay mortgage in two places. You ain't got the money to pay your bills in two different places. That's usually the main factor. And then the second factor is the person who leaves the house first usually doesn't have as much as an advantage when it gets time to divide the assets. But y'all, I'm pretty sure that Drew's name isn't even on that mortgage, to be for real. It might be on it probably ain't even on the deed, to be real. Like, but well, no, she has to be on the deed because they married. She has to be. But I just would be a little bit nervous knowing that Ralph basically went and put Drew in that house. Like, what did y'all do? Yeah, it's giving Kim and Croy. Kim and Croy. Yeah. It's probably on a utility bill, electric bill, water bill. Yes. It's probably on one of them. But I don't know. I wouldn't trust it. Here come Professor Necey, and I'm here for it. I love that. That's funny. Can't afford to leave. Nah, I can't afford to leave, right? Like, what is he doing? Oh, not in Georgia. Ren, are you saying not in Georgia, like the spouse doesn't have to be on the deed in Georgia? Because, I'm in Texas. So I'm pretty sure in Texas, when you're married, your spouse has to come to sign, and your spouse has to be on the deed. So yeah, I would be a little nervous if I was Drew. Like, we might get a Portia post Cordell. We might get a Portia post Cordell. Damn, that's hard to say. Didn't he get the house without her knowing? He did something, I remember, because I remember them moving to the house. Huh. Yeah. Too busy out shopping when you need to be checking a deed. You do. And that's why he didn't adopt. Because when it's time for y'all to divorce, everything, that man gonna sweep the shoes off your fucking feet. Thank you for the super chat, Miss Cookie Ray. She says no, she doesn't have to be on the deed either. Oh, marriage doesn't automatically secure that in all states. Oh my gosh, Drew, I'm scared. I'm nervous for you, Drew. Oh my gosh. Do we need to start a GoFundMe so Drew can get a down payment on her house? I'm playing. I'm playing, okay? You need to reach out to whatever lender approves Sheree and her mama. Reach out to that lender and we'll figure it out. Okay, it's gonna be all right. Yes, I'm worried for her too. Ooh, child, I can't. Okay. Well, y'all, that's all I have on Real Housewives of Atlanta. What shows are coming back? Which one is it? Love and Marriage Huntsville is coming back on September 16th. I'm reviewing that show. I really don't watch Love and Hip Hop, y'all. I do not care for Love and Hip Hop. I watch it. I don't care for Love and Hip Hop. But yeah, I guess I'll see y'all on the 16th. That feels so far away. Hopefully it's something else we could talk about before then. Maybe we could talk about The Ultimatum, because I have been watching that show, y'all. So I'm super excited. I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to y'all. Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine doesn't come back until November. Allegedly November 5th. That's whenever Real Housewives of Potomac comes back. And yes, I'm absolutely reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'm probably going to do Married to Medicine too and do like the little back-to-back like I used to do. I really like that. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm thinking about watching it. I just don't know if I'm going to review it. Their type of beef is kind of... Their type of beef is kind of triggering to me. I really don't like white women beef, to be honest, because it's a lot of, oh, I'm a good person. This person made me mad. I want to be a bitch, but I'm a good person. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll watch it, but I don't think I can review it. But yeah, of course I'll come back for the reunion. Love and Marriage Huntsville trailer was hitting. It was hitting, and I really hope that the season is hitting too. But yeah. All right, y'all. I really hope y'all like this review. I'm about to go eat dinner. I'm gonna work some more. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.